So during last session, yeah, first we discussed e-commerce architecture, like how in general e-commerce applications used to work, and we collected all the business requirements. This session, okay, and the document is available here. This is also shared. If you don't have, once again, let me copy, put it here. Okay, this link also now it is with you, and we created use case document, still sequence many diagrams we can create, but yeah, use case I thought sufficient. So this link also I hope shared. Yeah, this is a different one. Okay. So during last session, okay, we started designing entity diagram. Okay. So for any application, right, for any application development, the first foremost important thing is the requirement. Somewhere I noted it. Is it in a um, which one? Here. So here we are, right? So product owner given all the requirements to BA documented it in BRD, and BR2 functional document will be created. Business also, if he's a technical BA, he can create it, or he can take technical people help to do this. So as part of this BRD, if you can provide a use case diagram, it will help you to understand while creating user story, right? It will make you understand the user story clearly, and entity diagram will show like how to, how many parameters you have and what is the table structure that you can understand from this entity. Sequence will explains you what is the sequence of your execution. Okay, and apart from this, something we documented here, right? Somewhere I explained to you. Is it written in this document or something I created, right? BRD, FRD. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, so we were talking about actually user story when requirements given to any developer, right? Requirements given to any developer, he should put all these questions. Okay, when a simple story given to you, this is what we were discussing. When a simple story given to you, you should put all the questions. If somebody asks you to implement so and so, right? Where I documented guys, I'm able to see it. Uh, no problem. What I was telling you on that day, right? If we get the requirement, roadmap, everything need to be ready. But yeah, whenever you get the requirement, right? As a developer, if you get a requirement, we should be asking when somebody write a user story, create a manager, and store data, into manager table. Something a requirement if it's shared with you, you should ask you should ask a clear requirements. What are all parameters required as a developer? What are all the parameters and any use case diagram or any UML for it? And do you have any UML again? They can provide here itself use case diagrams and entity diagrams, so that developer easily can understand what is that user is and what activities he can do and how many tables he need to interact with. Okay, he can able to understand and implementation will be simple to him. And during efforts estimations also, right, for this he can able to give proper estimations for that particular story. Okay, I don't want to go into it, but here we were drawing this entity diagram, right, in the last session. Open the use case one entity diagram. Yeah, yeah. So here it is. So for manager use case, to create manager by admin, right? As per use case, to create a manager or to manage users by admin, we need a manager table. So for manager, we thought of having all these parameters, and to maintain transactions, right? I added created date, created time, or updated date, updated time. You can add here for this entity also. For each table, you can maintain that four parameters. And manager can create sellers, and manager can create delivery partners also. Okay. So for manager, we created seller table, delivery partner table, and as a seller, he should able to create categories, um, or yeah, seller only, right? So if you leave this option to seller or admin, all the categories which you want to maintain in your system, it is not good to assign to seller, right? If you try to add a category which is not in my preference, in Amazon.in we checked in, right? Amazon.in, they are providing some specific categories only. Within that categories only, any seller can able to add product, and any buyer also, right? As a customer, you can able to buy it. He is not selling any grass here, if you see. Okay, which means the grass should not sell online, and he is not selling any. I mean, just like example, I'm saying. So few things may not be eligible to this online store to sell. So he's not doing that business here. Even he's not selling, right? Amazon not selling any food, right, from the restaurants, because that is not his business. So whatever he wants to do the business, all that categories he added here. So if you leave this job to seller, he can add anything. Okay, so let's add that responsibility to manager only, manager, or let's add it to admin. Okay, in use case we will update, but remember, category will be created by admin or manager. We will give this privilege to, in our use case, right? We will give that privilege to admin. Okay, so admin can able to create that, like how he is creating managers. Let's ask admin to create that categories also, so that he will decide which all categories we can able to sell via portal, right? Otherwise, if you leave it to seller, as a seller he can do anything. Of course, manager will not accept it, he will review it, but this is a major type for the system. which will categorize all your items, products within the system, right? So let's assign this job to admin. So let's add columns, category ID, which is primary key, and category name, which is string. What we can add, category description. So we can say what it is, and is it active, is active, and when this is created, created date, created, updated date. And if you think anything need to be added here, you can add. uh, Maybe you may put here, um, I don't know, but e-commerce which is there across the world, right? This is for India especially, you can see. um, I hope they will maintain the entire application itself, a separate blueprint for India, I believe. For .com, they may use different application altogether, front end and back end. So if you see here, it is showing EN default US application. It is so which is showing all here US products and US categories. Maybe these categories might change based on the country to country. Here, if you say very few categories, I can see. Okay. But when I see it in .in, the categories are different. So maybe categories are country specific. What we can understand is they may be country specific. So if they are using single database, I don't believe they will use single database for each country. Mostly they might have different database altogether. Maybe they will clone it. Okay, they will clone it. So when it is country specific, of course country specific only. While I was working for Walmart, I saw that they are making uh, already code is there for one country like US, and while they want to implement the same code for another country altogether, they are creating complete brand new application with brand new database. So yeah, Walmart, right? It's the biggest US online store, and Flipkart also merged here with Walmart. Maybe Amazon also must be doing it. Um, so database wise, in future, if something, if everything is mixed together, still if you want to understand, or during reports collection, if you have so many databases as admin, Jeff wants to see, he's the owner, right? If you want to see what are all categories across the globe, country wise, if you want to fetch it, somewhere one specific property we need to mention across the tables, so that he can able to pull information easily. Who are all managers working for India, who are all sellers, who are all the delivery partners, what are all category he is selling it, right? So shall we add one more table here, like country codes, and we'll maintain the country information here. So ID, maybe primary key. You guys getting right what I want to convey here? Country code, and description, and is that country is active. Sometimes governments may block uh, the business people, like how they block here TikTok, right? So if they are doing any illegal activities, government may block that application, so they can't do any activities. Or else if application is ready for so and so country, still that is not active. If you want to make it active or inactive. You can put this soft option. So here by mentioning true or false, easily we can able to understand whether that country still available uh, for the business or not. Easily they can get it. Okay. So country code and is active, and maybe currency. What is the currency for that country? And daily if you want to update the currency value against US dollar, if you want to execute a daily job to understand it, maybe you can have here value in dollars, so that we can able to see what is the price today, uh, like dollar conversion value we can able to see. And when this data is updated, let's say someday jobs failed to create update the currency, maybe it may pick the old date values, so that somebody should continuously watch whether this dollar value updated or not, otherwise he may lose business also if there are any conversions happening. So updated date, so that we know for which all countries, let's say one application if you want to use for all the countries, we can make this application in such a way, country specific codes also we are adding, and each table will be then country specific. But if you design such a complex architecture, right, um, your application may not perform well, because one single code base, if it is doing checkings each country wise always, since customer logging to showing products to you know adding sellers to sellers adding products, so this entire system flow become complicated. Maybe as per my guess, right, and maybe Amazon also doing the same thing for country specific, they might have code. Still, when they want to get reports across the globe to apply filters, right, it's good to maintain the country code. So maybe you can maintain country code also here. It's all up to your designing, right? How much simple, if you design good country code, you can specify, and you may verify that code here instead of keeping this primary key as a foreign key here. Maybe same country code you can add. uh, Maybe it will make easy for you to do the select operation. Sometimes over engineering also will not give good performance. In big systems generally people will not maintain the relationships. So instead of maintaining complex relationship with primary key foreign key, right, they will try to make the same thing without a tightly coupled foreign keys. Foreign keys will always create a lot of nonsense. What they will say, when I want to delete something, a manager record here, it will say delete the sellers also. If one manager is retiring or one manager record is not required in my system, do I need to delete the sellers also? If it is a foreign key, it will ask you to delete it, or else you need to go and you need to update this. So if you don't want to see such issues in the system, generally I used to do this design, but later what I realized is strict relationships. It's good to avoid. But to understand from the system point of view, it's okay to have. But complex relations like primary key, foreign keys are not recommended for big applications which are having huge data to get filter and all, right. This may be not recommended to keep foreign keys. It's okay for our understanding sake. Let's keep it. Okay. Entry code. Hereafter, right, we'll focusing on the coding part, coding and architecture part. Okay. Uh, So here category, maybe country code, and is active is there, right? Let me delete. Huh. Country code is active mentions whether that category is active or not within that country. We can understand easily. Is something selling alcohol via online, is it active in India? Means no, it will not accept it. Maybe if that category is created, still if you don't want available in the system, maybe you can make this active as a false for country code India. Okay. um, yeah, that's how this soft options like is active parameters will help you to whether that records need to be active in system or not. So country codes also done and the category done. Now the main important thing is products. So product, when you call a product means a item which is having all the parameters, the final item which you are selling to a customer, right? uh, that is what we call it as a product. Product is a combination of so many things. When you say product is combination of brand, size, cost, color, length, weight. It depends on the product, right? So each product may have different varieties of information for it. So let me create here brands also. So brands is one more important thing for any product, right? A product must belongs to a brand, right? Or a company. Should not be like um, without brand nobody will create and uh, keep it into the system, right? So brand ID. So every item will belongs to a brand. It may not be orphan means no brand. Maybe every item may have one brand ID and brand name and description about that brand. And is active, is that brand is active. Maybe you can assign this job to customer care also. You may have one more module, customer care, uh, who will represent the admin. They are the people, right, who always responds to us when we say a problem. He will check everything and he will make things work for us. So maybe we will add one more module. Okay. Is active and when it is created date, date, data type, updated date. Yeah, later we will add if we find okay, country code also, right? So country code. So for each country code, you may create brands which you want to sell. Maybe some brands not allowed in India, correct? So brand-wise data you can maintain. This system, if you consider we are creating for only India, we will be having only one brand record. Let's say Sony, if it is there in Universal. So one more Sony record we will maintain with the country code US and country code UK, country code India. It's okay. Country specific data we are maintaining here. uh, Brands are ready. Again, each brand can have a uh, product to types. Each brand can have product to types, right? So a brand can sell a number of products. Like if you consider Sony only, Sony phones, TVs, headsets, speakers, many things. They are doing business, right? So all that categories you can mention here. Uh, so product type, product type ID, product type, and maybe description, right? Each category may have a number of brands. Category, let's say electronics. As part of electronics category, many brands can sell their items, and each brand can have again various types of products. So we will be creating them here. So let's say consider one Sony brand is here. So we'll be creating TVs, televisions, mobile phones, headsets, speakers. I don't know if they are doing any other business. So all that we can add here. And as usual, the remaining parameters is active, created date, updated date, country code, and belongs to which brand it is, brand name or brand ID. Here maybe in such scenario, maybe it is required to understand which brand belongs to this product is belongs to which brand. Maybe one brand can have one too many. One brand may have a number of products types. Okay, and it may fall into a category also, one too many, and it may fall into a specific category also. So category ID also, category ID also for any, one too many. Okay, so when two tables are referring one table as a one too many, you can consider the relationship between these two tables, category and brands, is many to many. One category can have many brands, one brand may belongs to many categories also. Okay, so this is the third table, product types. Now products. So this is very complex entity. Okay, products entity, products, depends on the product, right? Depends on the products. It may have so many properties, so I can't define the table structure for all the products today. If I am selling a TV, so just go and see what all specific information you can see. Or a phone, if I pick a phone, excuse me, if I pick a phone, I see something, phone name, and then brand name immediately, and price, discount, actual rate, and a discount rate. See, these all the properties belongs to your item only, and offers again belongs to item only, and replacement time, and free delivery eligible, and warranty time, and is it pay on deliverable, is Amazon delivered or any different partner delivered, and brand information, model, what is model, every brand, maybe you might not see model name for other products. Maybe for mobiles and TVs you may see it. When I go to buy something like a carpet, they may not show the model. If I try to buy a blanket, they may not give this model. maybe for electronics, different set of properties you may have, network service provider, nothing mentioned, operating system. See, as it is electronic operating system also they are providing, and cellular technology. So Amazon selling millions of products, so each product this information may change. So how do you guys thinking they are maintaining this table? Do you think they have this table with that many columns? If they do it also, it is not a good design. Okay. So what I am thinking is they may be storing it in a database, like a collection database, a document database they might be using for the products information. What do you guys think? I'm trying to make you understand here. So each product to product, this complete information will change. Let's say if this is a column in your table, this is the value. So this may be suitable for mobile phones, but if I go to a different, okay, let me take a screenshot of it. Okay, let me take a screenshot of it, so you will be getting easily what I'm trying to convey. uh, is it done or not? Okay, now for something mobile phone we saw this kind of information. So if this is saving in the table means table need to have all these columns: brand name, model name, network service provider, operating system, cellular technology, which is 4G or 3G. Hardly we see 5 6 columns, maybe 10 more columns specific to it. And this also, is it a replacement eligible? Is it a free delivery eligible? Is it having warranty, pay on delivery, Amazon deliverable, and the offers belongs to it? Where do you save all this information? One table is required for you. So if I see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 15, 16 columns required to save mobile information. And one more thing, not only that, the images also, primary image URL and the video URL, this information also need to be saved in a table. Only URLs, not the data. This data will be pulled from blob storages. Okay, directly this information they never save it in the table. So if you see how much good clarity you will see, right? So maybe this is saved in somewhere in a blob storage. From blob storage directly it is loading in your page. Not, you are not getting this image from server directly, maybe from blob storages you are getting it. So that URLs also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe for a few mobile phones 7 images they show, or if you visit iPhone they may show 20 images. So your database table also something like dynamic. If they put some fixed number of columns, you may not fit the data. So your table also should be dynamic. If you are using SQL, you can't make your tables dynamic for each product. If that is the case, how many tables you need to have for each kind of product? You need to have one table. Maybe your database will have 1 lakh products tables only. So that is not a good design. That is not a good design. Your application will try to pull the data or to save the data in the tables. So it will be nightmare to create application. And creating table also impossible with a fixed number of columns. Then what is the solution? As per my guess, let me show you at least the difference between iPhone and this Geo phone. Okay, 7 only they are maintaining, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 only. That's good. So at least same number of images they are maintaining it. And see here they have colors option. For that phone I didn't see this colors option. Along with the same information, brand, model, network. Okay, at least same thing about this item and images. Okay, along with the product images, something product branding also they are doing here. iPhone branding. See, this is one big image. Maybe their branding also you are getting here, right? in Amazon. So this branding also they will do. They will provide the URLs, and that URLs are loading here. If you see, all these are images. Okay, save image as. So these all are images. So the product people, right? iPhone, whoever is selling, they added it. They added it. All these images. So see, this is also image. So multiple images for their branding and as well as the phone images. So many things. So many things they are adding here. For mobile phones, it looks the same kind of table, mostly sufficient. If I choose a different one, um, washing machine. Okay, let me go with the washing machine. It's a different category. Yeah, top load something. I picked it. So here, if I see, I have a brand. Good. See here, different parameters. You see. Product dimensions it have. I don't see that parameter for. I don't see that parameter. See, do you have dimensions here? Maybe they thought that that is not important for the phone. They will say how many inches the screen is in the description part. But when it comes to washing machine, it is important to show the dimensions. Maybe for TVs also, so that you can understand how much space it will occupy. So the brand capacity. So everything changed. Special features, access location. They changed it entirely again for the washing machines. So for each product type wise, if they are maintaining tables, as I said, it is very difficult to maintain the system. Maintenance of system will become very 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 difficult. So for such information, you may have different database. Altogether, you may have different database. Instead of maintaining it in a SQL, you may maintain it in a documented database like MongoDB. There you can save this information as a collection. You may save this information as a collection, so that will not that will not restrict you to save the information whichever you want. For each product wise, if you want to save different set of parameters, you can save it. In simple words, whenever you want to add something into a collection map object, right? If I create a map object, new hash map, will it restrict you to add key values? Table also something like map only, right? A database table also something like a map. It will have key and value, right? Key means your column name. Key means your column name, and value is the parameter, even in the table also. So if I create a map, a dynamic map, if I create a dynamic map, will it stop you to add the data? Is it limited? No, right? It will allow anything. Collections, if you take list of objects if you want to add, list of product objects if you want to add, or list of some object array you want to add, or list of map objects for each product. If you have a different map object, maybe each map, right, if you consider is like one category, that you can again store it into the list. I don't know you guys are able to catch it or not. But if you unable to fit it in a table, maybe you can use collections. Okay, store your complete product information. Let's say if you are selling TV, so you may put the TV category information, right, into the map. So something, TV's information or phones information or washing machine information, each and everything. Like if you are selling groceries, Amazon also selling uh, groceries information. You can save anything into your map using key value pair. Okay, all the TV dimensions or price, colors, everything you can store it into your map, and you can add that map into a list. That is possible, right? You can add that map into a list. You can add that map into a list. So this list you can save it into this list you can save it as a collection into MongoDB. In MongoDB, you may create one products table, products data table. In that table, you may have one ID, that products data ID, and you can add your list object here. It's a collection database, document database. In document database, it will accept any Java object. Java object will store into database table. Maybe MongoDB we will use for it. Okay, MongoDB we will use for it. Okay, MongoDB is a document database, and it will not restrict you now. Even in future, if you want to add one more extra column also, it won't stop you. Automatically, it can increase the table also. Okay, a collection or a document database if you use, that is more suitable. Okay, instead of SQL for that. So you may have a question here: can we use that many databases for a system? Yes, you can have one database for one kind of information, and you may have one different database for products kind of. You can have any number of databases for your system, because the system is not a small system, as it is a complex system. Maybe complex architecture also may be required for us. So this products complete information we can save it into a different database. Okay, like collection database we will use, there we will save it, and there we will maintain this product type and brand and seller IDs here, right? While adding the product data here, which seller wants to, most importantly, it need to have seller ID, which seller wants to sell it, and which category it belongs to, or category and brand belongs to a product type, right? Maybe you can put product type here, so that easily we can understand this product belongs to which brand and which category from this product type. And we can see who is the seller for this, and all the data, price, everything you can save here in the collection. Okay, so this one we will design in a uh, uh, you know uh, during system design. Maybe a complex object required, we will do it in a Java object as it is can be saved into MongoDB, and that is also like a table only. Okay, whatever you are doing SQL operations, right, similar operations you can do it on a document to database also. We will be connecting two databases. So as it is a complex, I'm saying don't use it. Simple SQL is not really sufficient. And yeah, up to products we came. Now customer we required here. Customer is the god. Again entity. So customer, add a column ID, primary key, customer ID, and all other details of customer, his name, email. So we need to keep as much as information we required from the customer. Amazon earlier, taken us as a simple customers, and they started selling products. Now they are selling movies, everything to us. They are sending their advertisements to our email ID, phone numbers, and they are attracting us and doing so much, so many different businesses. So they have so much information of us, address, pin code. Maybe you can have a different table for address, because sometimes we used to add multiple addresses for the same user. So maybe one customer may have different addresses. In that case, you may have a different table for address. Okay, so I'll keep this address information into a different table. His phone number, email ID, um, username, passwords, we will maintain it in a different table. Okay, only customer information is sufficient here. He is active, and when this customer came into the system, and recently did he updated any profile information. Everything is important. You may think that why this unnecessarily created, updated, all these columns need to maintain in a system. But someday with customer, if you find some problem, somebody smugglers came into the system, they added their information, like a genuine person. Later they updated with or they you know changed everything. If you don't have that track, you don't know who came and what is his name, exact name and all. He may crash your system, and or he may completely change his data, and he can exit from the system. So we don't have any track. If somebody asks, uh, some government, CBI, somebody, if they ask from your portal only, they you know uh, brought some items. Do you have his information? What is his name, email, phone number? And if you do any recent updates, we should able to see what he updated, what was his previous information. At least some transaction table we should maintain for such data, sensitive customers information or sellers information. Maybe you may have a one more entity to maintain customer information transaction table. So there you can maintain his updates also. He updated something, so you need to put his ID, what was his earlier name, what he updated now. If someday you are accountable for him, you should able to provide the complete information. If your system is not having that information, you will be definitely facing the problems. So by keeping all that measures, or by keeping all that problems in your mind, if you can able to create a good system, it will not fall into any problems in future. Okay, so one customer may update his information a number of times, and you can keep all that updates here. One too many. Here, what was his previous data? Previous name, current name, and when he did this activity, when he updated the system. So created date, updated date. Maybe you can put this is act. Maybe for this kind of tables may not require, but put it. Okay, no harm, right? And what else we need? Delivery partner. We have seller, category, brands, country codes, product types. Yeah, I see. With against use cases, if I go and verify. Okay, reports we can generate. Okay, transaction table. The main important table is not created. We'll create them tomorrow. Once customer started buying the items, right? We should able to maintain the transaction table. Okay, which item he purchased and where it is in the delivery phases. Everything we should update, right? Reviews, and coming to item offers and all, we have a different table that as we thought. uh, so once he purchased it, so the transaction we should maintain, right? When he purchased, so orders, um, once I place a order and get that item for future, I should be able to see my order history. So yeah, so we need that orders table and orders history if you want to archive it. Orders archive table on customer credit card information. Earlier, the systems used to save. Nowadays, they are not saving. Still, they are saving basic information. So maybe we need one table to maintain his UPI IDs and his credit card information for quick payments, and the payment tables also. Okay, so all the transactions table we will create tomorrow, and we will design the high level architecture. Okay, for all these users. Maybe in 1 2 days we will do that. Once we're done with the architecture, this is all part of development only. So by keeping it aside, we will create a roadmap, and then we will discuss about the tools. Okay, we'll park this for the timing. We'll park it aside, and we'll discuss the tools. Okay, and then we will jump into coding once we get all the powers. Okay, so that is all for today, and the video portal is available, and this video also will be uploaded for you. I guess feeling bored, or is it making any sense? Okay. Yeah. Because you tell me, you all must aware, right, how to create tables to store the information, right? But you do some kind of research, go to Flipkart, Amazon, and try to do the research for at least 10 categories and see the information is completely different from product to product. One single table is not capable. Tables we can't update continuously, right? And though if you create table with 100 columns also, ah, yeah, you got it right. You realized it, right? uh, yeah, even if we go depth into it, if you try to analyze at least one existing system, you will see so many crazy things here. As a developer, you need to imagine how they are maintaining internally. Okay. Hmm. So as I said, right, image data as a array they will store it. Only links they will store it in the database. Okay. One complete session we will take to see how to store this information. So they will store it as a array. Only URL they will maintain. Simple small text information only will be pulled to the front end. So that will quickly it will get it. Maybe something very few kbs data it will get it. Once URLs getting, it will bind that URLs to image tag. From CDN directly that image will be loaded into your desktop. Here your server will not interfere. Yeah, block storage they will use. For images you are asking, right? Uh, yeah, product itself they might have a big system together. As we don't have that much scope here to discuss, we are not doing it. But if you go into this simple application itself, my guess is they might have 200 to 300 applications they might have internally. Again, applications itself, again, if you talk in terms of microservices, they might have around 50,000 to 1 lakh microservices they might have in the background. Again, each application might have 100 to 200 to 500 microservices. Small system itself, when we designed for the healthcare, there itself we got, when we started, we thought of 3 services, 4 microservices are enough. But, while we are doing, keep on implementing it, it went up to 35 microservices for a small system. Imagine, for, this much complex system, if they go with microservices, it's unimaginable. Yeah, but at least let us try to put at least 5 6 services here, so that you will be thinking in a broad later, right? So that is all, guys.